Hello, welcome to Sequoia's Minecraft series, episode 10, The Gate. Alright, that's the portal done, but I think my imagination stopped the potential right here. If you have any suggestions, please write in the comments. But this portal is just the tip of the iceberg. Today we still got trees to shape, stones to scatter, and a lot of little details to bring this space to life. So let's not wallow and let's get moving. Well, now we have all the small things sorted out, so I think it's time that we go gather the rest of the bulk things, like spruce leaves and azalea that you can see here on the right. So I think it's time to go. We're gonna gather up all these shulker boxes and get going with the rest. And I think that's all the wood I will need. Now it's time to move on to the next biggest thing, which is the spruce leaves, which is pretty straightforward. All you have to do is find the taiga, which you have plenty of in this area, and then you just have to start shopping. But first I want to sort the spruce into the shulker boxes, and then we can get going. Alright, that should be enough tuff. Next thing I need is azalea leaves and roots, so I stopped by the moss farm. This is probably the fastest way to get a lot of azalea, but it still takes a while though. But for this much moss I'm going to burn through bone meal, so I had to go AFK at the mob farm for a bit, and for that I had to turn off the mob switch so it would actually work. And this was actually the first time me turning off the mob switch, and it actually worked flawlessly, which was a very nice surprise. And now it was time to move on to a long-awaited azalea leaves gathering. So I head out to the savannah, which was past the observatory, where we finally reach our destination. And that's all of it sorted. Everything we can gather is done. And since this build is really big, I think another time lapse is in store. And I think that's the forest done. There are still small details left, a little bit of texture, tiny adjustments, things I probably have to tweak off camera. Because let's be honest, I could keep adjusting and adding things towards forever in this forest. But before I call this place finished, there's one main thing missing. Every forest like this needs a place to stop, somewhere that feels used. So I think we build a campfire. I don't want anything too dramatic. I just want it in a small clearing where the sun is shining. I want to have some logs, maybe a few stones, so that it feels like someone has passed through and stayed a while. Maybe this is where someone first saw the portal glow in the distance and stayed to investigate, which I think is a pretty cool lore thing in this world. This little campfire spot feels like something straight out of an adventure map. Maybe I'll add a small cabin later, or an explorer villager in the area. Could add a cool story to the world. But before this, I'm just gonna add a few small details off camera, and then we'll get the grand reveal to see what I actually built. Man, this actually turned out really good, and this is exactly the kind of atmosphere I wanted, but there's still a ton of work to do. Unfortunately, we're out of time for this episode, so as always, I wish you all the best, and see you soon.